The Adventist Musician Network is an authorized licensee of the name Adventist and is recognized by the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists as an independent Christian organization within the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Adventist Musician Network is not affiliated with or financially supported by the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. All views expressed, content, and opinions with all services offered reflect those of the Adventist Musician Network and not the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Sing the love of Jesus on A.M.N. Live. Hear the love of God every Saturday night. Singers, musicians, SDA Christians, worship the Lord, your Savior and mine. Come on, come on, let's A.M.N. Live.
Everybody, let's go.
A.M.N. Live. You're watching A.M.N. Live. A.M.N. Live. You're watching A.M.N.
Dieu seul soit la gloire, à lui revient la louange et l'honneur. À Dieu seul soit la gloire, à lui revient la louange et l'honneur. À lui la gloire, à lui la gloire, à lui la gloire, pour toujours, amen. À lui la gloire, à lui la gloire, à lui la gloire, pour toujours, amen. À Dieu seul soit la gloire, à lui revient la louange et l'honneur. À Dieu seul soit la gloire, à Dieu seul soit la gloire, vient la louange, vient tout l'honneur. À lui la gloire, à lui la gloire, à lui la gloire, pour toujours, amen. You're out on the lake all alone, reviewing your life and your choices, wondering how you got here and whether your boat will go home. When suddenly far on the land, a great wind is violently rising. You feel its effects, fear grips your heart, panic sets in, and you're in the midst of a storm. Don't be afraid, I am here to hold you through the storm. I have come to comfort you and keep you safe from harm. It's not always easy to hold your resolve, but I will give you strength. My love overflows to you, my peace I give to you. Don't be afraid. The fear that you hold in your heart is blocking my love and my comfort. I gave you my life on the cross so you would find strength in your pain. So lift up your head, look to me. It hurts, but I've already conquered. I see your tears, I feel your pain, I hear your prayers. I am with you each time you call. You call out my name. Come to me and don't be afraid. I am here to hold you through the storm. I have come to comfort you and keep you safe from harm. It's not always easy to hold your resolve, but I will give you strength. My love overflows to you, my peace I give to you. I promise to love you, never to leave you. Hold on, don't let go. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. My love overflows. My peace I give you. My strength is now yours. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. My strength is now yours. Don't be afraid.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Adventist Musician Network International Saturday night A.M.N. Live. It's good to have you all with us. We're so thankful that you are sharing this time with us as we highlight another very talented and gifted artist on tonight. We pray that everyone has had a blessed and wonderful Sabbath day blessing, and that you enjoyed yourself today. We have a couple of comments here for one of our friends here, Timothy. Yes, the first song, yeah, I didn't understand what they were saying in French either, but I do agree, brother. It was a beautiful song. I was actually speaking prior to this program with our guest for tonight, as far as not being able to speak certain languages fluently, and I think I shared with her. I'll be glad when we make it to heaven that we'll all be fluent in all languages, so we can all communicate together once we get to heaven. But until then, we'll do the best that we can here. Listen, we have a great guest is with us tonight, a multi-talented individual who I'm excited about having on board with us tonight. She's going to come on and share with us. I'm going to make an attempt at her name, but I'm going to bring her on first so she can correct me just in case I am wrong in the pronunciation. So here's our guest, Miss Lydie Moutoumalaya.
Yes, you said it right.
Oh, all right. Great, great. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. And how are you doing with this morning? How are you?
I'm fine. It's true that it's 1 a.m. here, but I'm
Well,
quite all right. I
we're
rest
so
myself today.
Oh, good, good. So thankful that you have made the sacrifice to spend the time with us on tonight. Looking forward to learn more about you. We again would like to thank Marie too, who sent you over to us as a guest for tonight. She does an amazing, wonderful job with finding very talented individuals, very gifted individuals, and those that have God's hands on them in their ministry. So I expect nothing less than what we will learn of and from you on tonight. So you are in France. You said it's 1 a.m. there. You're a little rested. So we're trying not to hold you too long tonight. But we do want to make
That's for sure.
sure that we give you the time and space to share with our audience, those who are viewing with us live on tonight, as well as those that may see the rebroadcast of this program on tonight. So, Miss Lydie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. So I am French. My name is Lydie. I am violinist, but also painter. So my activities in life, it's musical therapist, art therapist, violin teacher as well. And at church, I am responsible for the music. Yeah, so about my background, I went to the music conservatory to learn violin.
Okay.
So I made 10 years of violin in the school, music school.
Okay.
And here I am today.
Good, good. Glad that you're here to share with us on tonight. So you've been playing the violin how long again?
Oh, I was 7.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I started with the, I will tell you that later, but at 7 violin,
Okay.
and I never stopped. So
Good, good. Well, we're looking forward to sharing your gift and your music with our audience on tonight. Let's jump into one of these questions here. Just kind of get a little bit more information about you, get a little bit more of a background. So, how did you start with the playing of the violin? And you also mentioned that you are an artist. So, how did you get started in that realm as well?
yes. So my mother, she put me on the music conservatory. I was 6 actually, and I started to play the piano first, and I made all my year until the end. And in the music conservatory, we have a concert at the end of the year with all the musicians, with all the students of the school. And I made my own music piece, piano music piece. And at the end, I went to sit with my parents in the chairs. And then we saw the big orchestra. I saw the big orchestra with all violins, alto, cello, bass, and everything. And I just say to my mother, "Oh, ma'am, I want to do this instead." I didn't know yet the name of it, but it was a violin. And my mom, she said, "Okay." And for the next year, she registered me on the violin class, and I never stopped.
Wow, wow. You know, I had a private piano teacher. Well, of course, when I started, actually, I think we started around the same time at age 7. But
Okay.
so yeah, but with the gray in my hair, I'm sure I have a little more time under my gray hair than you do, as far as age goes. But that's all great. That's all great. So one of the things that my piano teacher would say is that, of course, with music theory, it all goes back to the actual piano. One of the things that she would express to me is if you can play the piano, you can basically play any other instrument there is. That's what she said. Now, of course,
Yeah.
I only play the piano, so I don't know if it's true of that. But hearing your story, how you started at the piano, but you saw the violin, I guess you just had that inside of you that drew you to that particular instrument. And like you said, you haven't looked back since then. So, what about your painting? How did you come about to have that desire, that love to paint?
Yeah, so it was in 2017. I saw a profile picture of one of my friends, and I really liked it. So I just drew it on a paper, and I show it to my friend, and she said, "Oh, yeah, that's quite all right. It looks like me." And I said, "Oh, okay, so great." She was happy for that, and then I said, "Oh, let me do some over portraits of my friends." So I went on the internet, on my social media, and I took the profile pictures, and I do them again and again, and I always show them the result of it, and they were like always happy, and they said it was nice, and said, "Oh, okay." And one day, someone asked me to make a portrait, but for money. So I said, "Oh, okay, I can do that for money then." So I started to make some portraits, but we paid for it. And then I said, "Oh, I like the nature. I like to paint, but I want to go further and make more landscape instead of portrait, because I fancy this way." And then I started to do the landscapes, and I didn't know how to paint, how to do the things. I just draw and paint on my own. I am autodidact, and I went on the internet, YouTube tutorials. I watched everything, and I started to make some landscapes. And someone asked me, because I always put my paintings on my social media, and someone asked me if I could paint for her a painting she would put on in her living room. I said, "Okay," and then she paid me for it, and I started like that to make some paintings, even to be paid. But I was doing that for fun, and I really enjoyed to do it. And this is how I started to become a painter as well. Now I paint landscapes and less portrait now, much more the landscapes. And I do that for the retirement home, for my other activities that I have in the retirement home as well, because I do some art therapy too. So this is how I started to.
Wow, wow. So you were not like the violin when you were young. You didn't discover your gift for painting until later in life.
No, it just another. It's just like this. Sometimes we just discover later, but
Right,
we have this inside of us.
right.
But it start one day to come up.
Oh wow. Well, I wonder if I can paint. You never had to try, right? Yeah.
Maybe you have another talent.
Well, yeah, maybe so, but I don't know if I would discover that one. But that's pretty amazing that you just kind of so you had no formal training with the painting or drawing. You just saw it and was
Yeah.
able to just adapt to that particular art form.
Yes, it's true that I have a artist background because even at the music conservatory, I was doing classical dancing.
Oh, okay.
Yes, my mother is a drawer. She
Ah,
as well. So and she's doing small houses, small things, in
mhm.
little details. So and my father he likes to make some object with woods. So I think I have their stuff in me as well, the art
Yeah. You
part.
have the creative gene on both sides.
Yes.
Yes. So any other family members that are musically inclined?
My sister, she used to play piano.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's it for now. Yes.
That's it. Well, hey, that's better. That's better to have that type of background where you have, like I said, you have the gifts and the talents or artistic gifts from both sides, and of course, it's in your family. You and your sister there that share that gift of music, instrumentalists, as it were. So that's great. I do want to share one of your songs for with our audience on tonight. But of course, when we come back on the other side, I do want to just talk a little bit more about the song, what inspired you, as far as the song in general, and just talk a little bit about that, and then we'll I'll have some other discussions. Okay. All right. Let's check out the first video here. Yes, we have some technical difficulties with that hymn, that I surrender all. So,
Yeah.
are you? I know you said that you're the music leader at your church, correct?
Yes. I just saw one image for the video actually,
Okay.
but uh, could you put it back or no?
Yeah. Let me get us back here. Let's see. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the
The
things,
issue of network.
yeah, yeah. One of the things I always say is technology is great when it works for you. So yeah, but I'm glad we are able to hear and see the end of that video. So with that hymn, I surrender all. Are you um, like a student of hymns, or what type of I guess different? I won't say different genres. So you listen to different types of Christian gospel hymns. What's your preference, or do you just kind of listen to a wide range of music?
Well, I like the hymnals. It's true, and like more classical hymnals.
Hmm.
This is why for example, I like Fontainebleau because they sing more classical and more soothe music. But I like as well Giver Vocal Band, for example. I like their style. They are sitting and they are singing. Or I like as well Richard Smallwood
Okay.
because he has a big part of strings instruments in
Hmm.
his music.
Hmm.
Yes.
Right. Right. So, are you intentional, or when you, I guess, when you're at your church, do you, when you're preparing music for the service, do you make sure that you include various across the gamut as far as more classical music, traditional hymns, as you mentioned, even some maybe gospel? Are you, how do you choose those songs, and how do you put it together with your thoughts and your style of music?
Hmm. Well, it's a good question. When they ask me to play in my church or some other church, I usually they gave me the theme
Okay.
uh, of a service or of the event. So I choose the music in with this in mind. Then I like the traditional hymnals, but gospel worship songs. So I can choose any of them. It's true that I listen to a wide range of music, gospel, worship music. I mean, maybe mostly worship music.
Mhm.
So this is it. I just try as well to match the words with the theme, or now as well I can compose. So I make the music now for the service.
Well, with your music that you choose, I'm sure you do have favorite Bible verses that you may have. So, do you have any of those that you would like to share with us, and how that kind of correlates also with your music, your musical style, and your choice of music that you actually perform?
Yes, I started like an entrepreneur in 2019 and 20, sorry. And I understood that it was like what it was like to trust in God, to keep rely on His wisdom, and this is why I often, and when I often study the Bible, I often come and come across a verse. It's Proverbs 3, 5 to 8. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. Um, when I started to make my company, I had to trust only in God, and even to get my materials, to get over things that I didn't have to promote my things. I just prayed, and I had to go by faith in everything. So this is why I really like this proverb, because I always it on it on the in the Bible when I study, or when it's like to have faith in God. And the first song, I Surrender All, is really in this direction, because we have to surrender to the will of God in all we do. This is why I really do like this verse. But I don't know, I am a girl, so I have two Bible verses that I fancy. And the second one, it's when I compose or when I paint, I when I am in the best conditions to paint or to compose, it's where when I am in the joy, I am in the calm, restful, peaceful. Some of other artists, they do like, they can compose or create something if they are angry or maybe sad. But me, it's really when I am in the peaceful mind. And this is why my second favorite Bible verse is Philippians 4, verse 8. It's finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, honest, just, pure, or lovely, or good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. And I always put my mind in this state in order to play my music, because I can see that it's better in this way, and it's what God asks us as well to have in mind, always be positive mind.
Right. So I've heard you mention that you also compose. How long have you been composing music, and what type of compositions do you have? Is it more classical, or maybe a little bit more traditional gospel? What's your areas of composing as of now?
I compose since this year. I composed my first song in May.
Oh,
Yeah, and it was for an event actually. And as my background is more in classical and worship too, I mixed them both.
mhm.
And I like to tell a story with the music. So it's not only a verse and um, it's always a music that goes through different states of of feeling that really fit to the emotions. Yep.
So you have that classical touch. I think in classical music we call them
Yeah.
movements. You have different movements in the classical
Yes.
piece. Yeah.
Different movement, but in one music, not separate movements.
Right. It's one body, but you
Mm,
have different movements within the entire piece. So there's usually like
mm,
a common theme that goes throughout even the different movements. You always will
yes.
have that common theme that you always will come back to of that particular piece. So yes, that's actually a great thing. I was thinking when you were speaking, you made a statement of you like with your music when you compose, you like to paint a picture, and I was like, that's pretty interesting coming from a painter. Um, And the reason that was interesting to me because I find myself telling when doing rehearsals or choir members or vocalists, I often tell them when you're singing, it's sort of like making like telling a good story or painting a picture for the listening audience. You know, so it's like you're the artist at that point in time, and your job is to paint that picture so that the audience can kind of visualize what the message is that you're trying to convey in that particular song. So when you made that statement like this, that's very interesting coming from an actual artist, right? To say that you're
Yeah.
painting that picture. So
Mm.
you composed your first piece in May of this year. So is
Yes.
it something that is it a piece just for violin, or is there any vocal parts to it? What's the composition of that musically for that particular piece?
Uh, this piece is only music.
Okay.
Um, it's the name is animé par la foi. It means driven by faith in English.
Hmm.
And yes, there are different movements inside.
Okay.
Um, 7 phases, actually, 7 states of where we go through fancies, when we go through difficulties, and to finish by the victory that God gave us in Jesus at the end. Yeah. So yes, my composition is based on the classical feelings. Yes.
All right. So, of course, obviously, being that you have been in music since the age of 7, you also say you attended a conservatory. So, classical is, I'm sure, very near and dear and close to your heart. So, what is it about classical music that draws you to it?
Can you repeat, please?
What is it about classical music that actually draws you to that music?
Um, the classical music is tell tell a story because you don't have the words, you don't have a voice or something, so you have to figure out what is inside, what the music tells you, and with only the music, you can have a picture. You can imagine you inside a scene, and you can as well translate the feelings, the emotions uh, with notes, with music notes, and it's what they do in movie music. If you don't have the music, the movie sounds fade, not so nice. But you just had the music in it, and you can feel all the difference because the music accompany the images as well.
Right.
So I do like this kind of music because you don't have um, a path where it's just like hymnals, only two parts of it, but you have a lot of moments where you can go inside and with a richness inside.
Right. Well, I think we have one of your classical performances that we're going to take a look at. Um, and then when we come back, just so you can just be thinking about this doing the this particular song, I'm very interested in how you approach your classical pieces, how you prepare for it, your practice for classical pieces, and just kind of your mindset as you go through performing a piece. So I just want to discuss a little bit of that when we come back. But I want to I'll share this classical piece with our audience first, and then when we come back, we can discuss that a little bit more. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry about that. The mute was on again. So with modern technology, you can do your own duet for your piece.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, I like to do that actually, and it was a good purpose for this music piece because it is a concert for two violins. So
Mhm, mhm,
yes.
yeah.
Um,
So when you're preparing for a new classical piece, how do you prepare for that? What's your mental process? What's your practice process? How does that look for
mm. My practice process is basic actually. But first of all, I always play the music that I really, really enjoy because I can retain the music more efficiently. And this piece, for this piece, it's the case. What I want to say as well is that I chose the Jean-Sébastien Bach music because Jean-Sébastien Bach has a music that is good for the brain, good for the health, and because it's Baroque music. But also because Jean-Sébastien Bach he was following Martin Luther,
you?
the one of initiator of our Protestantism, reform of the church actually, and he was signing his music pieces only with these words, three words actually, Soli Deo Gloria. It means to the glory of God alone. He was really following God's purpose, really following the Bible, and he wanted really to be on the truth. This is why I do like to play Bach music because I know where it comes from,
Mhm.
and actually, I I choose Bach also because even in our hymnals, uh, we do have hymnals from Jean-Sébastien Bach. Not a lot of people know that, but I went in the hymnals at the back, and you can see a lot of composers, classical musicians that compose the hymnals. You have Haydn, Beethoven, Hoffmann, Mendelssohn, Schubert, and Bach. You have a lot of them. So this is why I always include classical music in the worship. But to go back to the question because I think I went too far. um, I practice the violin 3 4 times a week and more if I can, and I do it by pieces because sometimes and often it's long pieces of music for the classical music. So I always do it step by step, and I listen to the music before to play it. Often I listen to it because I can just retain the music easily, and after I don't need a music sheet at all to play the music. And this is the case for this music piece, the concerto.
Interesting, interesting. So, yeah, of course, and I'm sure you noticed as well. A lot of the classical composers, they were actually commissioned by the church in their time, to write music for the church. So a lot of the classical pieces were meant for churches during that time of those composers. Um, yeah, that's pretty interesting. I think the thing that I find interesting about classical music is, uh, like I said, the you have different movements in classical pieces, but you also have a common theme. So I guess that brings that structure to it. Um, then the interesting thing about this, I remember being in school and would be in a music theory class for like for one semester, and they tell you that this is the absolute law when it comes to music. You cannot do anything else other than this. And then the next semester say, okay, remember I told you that last semester you can't change it. Well, here's the exception to it. So, but it's still a building process. You still have to take it step by step when it comes to classical music. So I think it's very the structure of it is very intriguing, of classical music, and everyone, I guess, have a different approach, and I'm always interested in how different musicians that are classically trained and play classical music, how they approach that music.
It's free with the classical music. We have liberty because it's not something straight. Yes, we have different movements, so we can put what we want inside one piece of music, but different state. Yes.
And it's good, I think, for me. I always I wasn't really too big on the hours of practice, but but the thing that I did enjoy about it is that my instructors would have me to read the background of the composer of the piece to kind of get an insight into their thought process when they wrote that particular piece of music. Um, so we are going to listen to one of your to your original piece that you have. But before we do that, I do want to discuss, what major event or anecdote that was kind of decisive for your artistic ministry and also your professional services that you do, because and also share with us all of the services and the things that you do professionally, so that we can get a broader picture of everything that you do and what you are involved in.
Yeah. So in life, yes, I am musicotherapist, therapist, art therapist, violin teacher, and I do some musical entertainment as well, but in a retirement home, so for the elderly specifically. And so in 2019, Dr. Neil Nedley came to France. For those who don't know who is Dr. Neil Nedley, he is a physiotherapist, and he has the program to get rid of depression and anxiety. It's a depression and anxiety recovery program, mostly. Yes, and I was following his in his videos on YouTube because I do like the other part he's doing. It's the program to enhance brain capacity and to enhance the frontal lobe as well. So the memory, and I really I have always been fascinating about these topics. So in 2019, he came to France to make a seminar and a formation to people who wanted to prepare and to organize the program of depression and anxiety recovery program. So I couldn't miss that. So I went there and I registered and I followed the seminar. And I got the certificate and everything. But what is funny is that for these events, the organizer asked me to play 2 songs. Then he did some music as well just to break a little bit the seminar and to get brief. So I played my first song, and my first song was I Surrender All. And at the end of a song, Dr. Ninede said that this song is included in the long recovery program in the US, and they make sing this song to the patients, or the intern, we call them. So I was surprised because I didn't know that before to play the song, and it was just matched with the seminar then and with the program. And then for the second song, I played the aria of Jean Sebastian Bach aria. And when I finished again to play this song, Dr. Ninedles told me, "Oh, this song is in the CD of the program that we sell for the program, because they have the music CDs with the music good for the brain, and they make listen to this music to the patient, to the interns." and this song in particular is always put in the programs. So again, surprised, and it was like it hit me because I said, well, it's 2 times something is happening. And after that, Dr. Nidale talked about music therapy and how to launch this program in the program with the intern. And yeah, suddenly I just it just hit me because I knew at this moment what I have to do, because when God talks to me, He always talks to me and He repeated 3 times for me, 3 times different things, but to tell me something. And here it was about the music, about to help people, and what came into my mind is just, oh, I want to become a music therapist and
Mhm.
make my own workshop of it. And I have always had an easy relationship with old people, with the elderly.
Mhm.
So I knew that I had to do this activity with them. And I make my musical entertainment with them in retirement home as well, and musical therapy workshop. Yeah, so it was a big event for me, and it's this particular anecdote, major event that really was decisive for my artistic ministry and my activity, my professional activity as well. But now I compose the music, and I often play, and I'll always play violin at church and everywhere. And uh, when I play, I always have this in mind, that music can heal people, music can touch people and make them feel better. We have this example in the Bible with David
Mhm.
play for Saul, and only the music be can heal people, can touch, can do something inside people, can relieve people. So this is it. This is really the major event, because it helped me to know my way, to know what I have to do in life.
Yeah, music therapy. Yeah, that's I think music therapy, I want to say 15, 20 years ago became like I guess a more of a known type of therapy that people were doing. I know some in some hospitals they have musicians come into play to patients, and but it's just amazing just to know that music is such a powerful tool. Not only a tool, but such a powerful gift that comes with it. But then now when I think about it, when God has given His anointing and placed His anointing on something, especially music, that once God's anointing is involved in it, then yeah, the power to heal is there. You know, uh,
Yes,
it is there on that music. So I really, it's really fascinating to just understand that you can just, you know, like you said with David and with Saul, you know, he was able to play away, you know, the evil spirits. Or when Saul was vexed, he would call for, you know, David to come and play to calm and soothe his spirit. And it's it kind of also on the other side, it puts more of a um, I guess a demand on us as musicians, those who play, even singers. You know, the voices is an instrument. With those that God has called to use for His purpose, you know, it's more of a demand on us as well to make sure that when we're playing and ministering for the right reasons and with a pure heart when we are, so that we can allow God's healing power to be used through the gift that He's given and placed in our musicians. So it's a very powerful moment that you share with us that you're in. So you're also into musical therapy as well. so so we have a violinist, an entrepreneur. You know, you're multifaceted in that regard. A painter. I think see you do things with landscaping as well. So yeah, you have a lot going on. That's for sure. That's for sure.
but
So,
everything is intertwined. It's all together. It's mixed actually.
Oh, great. So tell us a little bit about that. How is it that you could take different aspects or different um, professions or different things that you do professionally and bring it all together? How do you make that happen?
Well, um, my music. With my music, I I am violin teacher, but I also play in the retirement home, at church, and everything. So it's for me the same thing because I use the violin, I use the music. So for me, this is one thing. Teacher, I do that since 15 years of, I don't know, since a long time ago. So I all have been teaching for me people. Then we have the paintings. For me, it's art together. Music and painting, it's art. And we can mix them together because both of them, they tell a story and they can enhance each other. They can really match together. And for example, for my composition, my music composition, um, I started first to compose the music, and I didn't know that I will do the painting as well, which is related to this composition. So after that, I made the paintings, and if I can say the story now, I went on holiday this summer, and I went somewhere, and it was just like I went there before, but it reminded me something. Why? Because I started to make the paintings, and it wasn't finished yet. And when I went on holidays, I said, "Oh, it's what is inside my paintings actually, because it's the sandy, the hill with sands on the beaches." And I said, "Oh, this is this is the things I was drawing, but I wasn't. I didn't go there first to see it, so it was related." And I said, "Oh, let me continue to paint it like this, and I can do after my music video clip there because it just matched both of them." So this is how I made this. Actually, this next video we will see. Um, and also, next for the retirement home, I play violin for the elderly, but also I bring my paintings because I introduced what I am playing with the paintings, with visuals, with images, because it's visuals and also by here, and they can be stimulated by many things instead of one thing, only the music. So I put both of them as well inside my musicotherapy activity. And it can fancy as well. It can go together because it's just the way it can be better for the elderly.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at your original composition and talk some more about it when we get back. Okay.
Okay.
Really nice. Really nice. Wow. So there was other string instruments that was in that composition. So first of all, tell us the name of the composition. Could you translate it into English, the name of it?
Yes, animé par la foi, it means driven by faith.
Okay, okay. So the other instruments, I heard other string instruments there. Did you also write their parts, or did you just give it to that particular musician and they just kind of added to what you had?
Actually, so there are four parts, so four instruments.
Mm-hmm.
So first violin, I'm doing it. There's a second violin,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing it as well. I return the parts, and then we have the cello and the bass,
Okay.
the
All right.
contrabass. So I wrote all the parts of those instruments, and then I made the music on the computer for the cello and the bass. And then I registered the first and violin myself with mics and everything on my home studio.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I made the four parts and assisted by a computer and then live with the violin.
So the concept of the artist drawing uh, as you're playing now, what how did you come with the idea to correlate those two or to bring those two together as the artist? I know you say that you do introduce music when you go to the uh, with the elderly, that you also introduce your music with art. So how did you think? How did you come with the concept for your video to incorporate those two, and also bring it together as to the story of the artist versus the music that's being played?
Yes. Actually, I did it. I said it just a while ago that I first composed the music, and after I said, "Oh, let me make the painting of the song," because both of them for me they can't be separated. I'm drawing, I'm playing violin, and I cannot make them separately.
Hmm.
And it just came up into my mind to make them both inside a video. It was normal for me because it's the two of them. They are part of me, and so I cannot, I couldn't do it in another way actually than to put them together.
Well, I mean, that's a great thing. Like I said, like we mentioned earlier, how where you mentioned how you can how they intertwine together. So that's a great thing that you can bring multiple passions and multiple loves that you have, and find a way to make them all work together. I think that way it makes it even that much more fun to do what you do. When you so it's like no matter what you're doing, whether it's music or painting, you're able to incorporate that in either area. So that's a great thing. So you did say also that you teach violin as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so with your students, how do you see yourself, I guess, in the future with your students, maybe doing some music with them, compositions for along with your students, or do you play with your students now?
Well, my students, they are beginners.
Okay.
So most of them are beginners. One is more advanced. And actually, for the one most advanced, I'm going probably to play with her soon in a church um, for one of her songs. But for the other one, maybe we have to wait a little bit because they are still a beginner. Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So tell me this: where do you see yourself growing musically with your compositions, with along with your art? Where do you see yourself in the future, and how will you continue? Of course, I'm sure you would continue to merge those together, but where do you see yourself going?
I see myself going to make a CD with the music, and to paint as well about the Bible verse, and mix them together inside music that I could compose to. And always composing again for the retirement home with the art therapy and the music therapy, to compose some easy song that I could make play for the elderly, because I use the violin, but I use also some other instruments, music bells, for example. And for example, I have 5 violins, actually mine plus 5 violins, and I bring those violins inside the retirement home, and I make them play as well, and with the music bells as well. And we have some project to make songs together, what I could accompany them, and they play also. So yes, I have some project inside the retirement home, but and professionally as well for the music, it's to make a CD with hymnals, with composition, and to make some more videos with arts and music together.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's a very interesting concept. So I do pray that God's blessings will continue to be on you, because it seems like you have a very unique ministry, um, and it seems like you found your niche with that. You're growing with it. Um, you're growing in that ministry, so you're allowing that gift to multiply itself, which is a great thing. I want to ask you this for maybe other. I won't say violinists, but other maybe string instrumentalists that may see this program at some point, or may just watch you from your other uh, points of social media they see you on YouTube or things of that nature. What would you advise them as far as their gift, and what advice would you give a younger string instrumentalist that's coming along, that is classically trained in how to expand upon the gift that they have? What advice would you give them?
Well, I will give them my testimony of when I was young. I bring my violin in church. I was 12. I just bring my violin in church, and I started to play to accompany the songs for the service, and it's where it started for me, to play and to know how to um, make music that I'm doing actually now. I can just listen music and play it. I can improvise. I can, yes, compose. And so, as what I could say to a younger person is to start to come to church with the violin, and to start to play at church, to start to play with other musicians, in order to expand the ear, expand the way we can play together. And I will tell them as well to play also in outside the church, in other churches and in other events, and to never let down the violin. Always keep up practicing, because practice makes perfect. So we need to practice often the violin, often the instrument, because a gift that God give us can be lost if we don't practice it, if we just keep it in a side. So we need to always maintain what God gave us by practicing, to be better and better day by days, because we cannot just stand in one level. We always need to improve ourselves and to be perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that is very, very key. Very good to let everyone know that you just have to continue to work on your craft, to better yourself. Just to continue to build upon the gift and the talent that God has given you. I've enjoyed speaking with you tonight. I'm gonna try the name one more time. Lydie Moutoumalaya.
Yes,
Okay.
right.
Yeah. It's very, very enlightening sharing with you, sharing with us tonight. I really like the concept of you incorporating the painting, the art, along with the art of music. Kind of making that visual, bring another level of that visual to your music. So that's a very amazing thing. Of course, for those who may have not noticed, but we have been strolling at the bottom of the ticker at the bottom does have all of Lidie's contact information. Please make sure you check her out on her various social media sites. Um, I'm pretty sure that everything that you will see, you'll be very well pleased with it. Of course, it's been an honor again to have you with us tonight. As I said to you before this show, if there's anything that you would like to share of upcoming products or projects that you may have, or anything that you're going to be involved in, please let us know so
Okay.
that we can support you as much as we can. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure to
Thank
speak with you, and we definitely have to do this again. Maybe the next
you.
time we do this, you won't have to be up at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning to do it. so, so hopefully we'll have a chance to do this again. Any final words you'd like to share with our audience tonight?
Oh, um, I'm quite happy to for this interview, and well, it was a big one this time, late one, yes, or early one, but yes, I was really glad to be here and to share my activities, my passion, and my ministry, and I hope you will like it, and you will find in it inspiration, divine inspiration for yourself, and a way to think different with the music.
Yeah, good. So please, family, friends, go to her Instagram page, like the page, follow her on Instagram. She's on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to her YouTube page. Facebook, go there and like her page there as well. Follow her. Wherever you see her on any of those social media outlets that is on the ticker here, make sure that you support her. It is something that we want to make sure that we do here for all of our friends of the Adventist Musician Network International. We want to make sure that we show them our support and that we let them know that we are here for them and that we're here also praying for them as they continue to grow in the ministry that God has given them. Once again, we'd like to
Thank you.
thank all of you for joining us on another edition of Saturday Night A.M.N Live. And until next time, be blessed, stay safe, and we'll see you again on the next time.